Right here now in the video section, because it'll be more than 3 minutes, on the Nephilim, because it mentions it twice in Genesis 6, just after the start of the flood with Noah, and then it mentions them again in Numbers 13 verses 30 to the end, roughly, in there. About there's a few verses there. You need to, again, in all study, you need to put everything together. First of all, people say Nephilim were giants. Doesn't say that, and that's where giant part comes in the 13 of chapter 13 of Numbers, and 31 to the end there, roughly. Okay, it's only a few verses. That's where the giant part comes in, but they don't even read that right. And now back to Genesis, where it starts the Nephilim. That's where they throw in, by not reading the context right, that the Nephilim were the sons of angels who had sexual relations with women. It doesn't say that. People love to believe things or misinterpret or love to push things. Jesus said, who is God, 1 John the Gospel. In the next life, you, human, are neither given or taken marriage. You are like the angels. The angels don't marry, don't have genitalia, have sexual relations. Okay? Some wrongly translate the sons of angels here in Genesis 6 to be sons. They say sons of angels, where it's really the sons of God. Now, all are sons of God because God created, but we humans are the real true sons of God, to which angels he said all the stuff that he's going to give us, and we're going to rule angels, okay? So I'm going to start in verse 6, first time it's mentioned, chapter 6 of Genesis, okay? Right at the beginning. When men, now it just came off the people, it's going to say here, who had long years up in the 900s, up until Noah. Noah did too. I think Noah's the last one. And then they went down to like 150, 140, after God said here, my spirit, well, best translated there is the breath of life, really, or even the human spirit, because that's what makes us like gods and then other animals where we can think, build. Anyhow, I want to digress. Should not dwell with man unless you have the Holy Spirit. It takes conversion. That's another story. My spirit should not dwell with them, but number one is the breath. Because he's talking about life and how long to live, more than 70, I think it is, which is 120 years. And Noah was the last one. As I said, okay, I'm going to read it, verse 6. Get the context. It wasn't angels that married women. I'll comment as I go. When men began to increase in the number of the earth, and this is where the flood, Noah's coming on the scene again, the last one around 900 something years of living. When men began to increase in the earth, in number on the earth, and daughters were born to them, the sons of God, correctly here in the NIV, not sons, okay, not the sons of angels, the sons of God, are humans, saw, in other words, men, good men, sons of God, saw that the daughters, and just regular men too, saw that the daughters of men were beautiful, and they married them. So men married women, the sons of God, and good ones too. I don't know if it means all of them, but either way, because we're all sons of God technically, but you must become the son of God really spiritually to live forever. Anyhow, the sons of God, men, saw that the daughters of men were beautiful, not the sons of angels, okay? And the men married those women that they chose. Verse 3. Then the Lord said, my spirit, what I just explained, okay, the breath of life will not, because it's just coming off, I explained the ones who lived 900 something, and Noah was the last one. Then he said, 70, you'll see here, okay? My spirit will not contend to live, because he realized it was hard, to strive. Men will not strive, right? The spirit, the breath of life for all those years, it's hard. It's hard enough now, right? As far when we live much less. Then the Lord said, my spirit will not contend with man forever. What I explained, he is mortal. From Latin, he'll die. He capable of dying, will die. His days will be 120 years, meaning the max. Do you ever see anyone today, interestingly enough, live more than 120? No. Some claim to do, but no. Here it is. The Nephilim were on the earth those days. In the context here, from talking about years, that's the whole context from the whole chapter before. The Nephilim here is referring to the ones who lived 950 years, and God just changed it no more than 120, so they were called the Nephilim. Well, think about it today. If we were in that time, right? And people lived 950, and all of a sudden, grandpa just died, and his grandpa lived 900, and now we only live in 120. There's a big distinction. Wow, a big thing. It's almost like an eternity. So they were special names, like everything is called something for distinction. They had a special name, the Nephilim. They lived that long time. That's the context. So all of them, the good man, Enoch, Adam, right, and Noah was the last one, 900 years, okay? And God just said no more than 120. So the Nephilim were on earth those days, what I just explained. They're still there. They're just dying off. I explained all that. And also afterward, when the sons of God, again, not the son of angels, went to the daughters of men and had children by them, sexual relations, they copulated, they impregnated, they became gravid women. They were the heroes of old, men of renown. There you go. Read that again. Now the Nephilim were on the earth those days, still 900 something years. They're just still alive. And also afterward, when the sons of God, they were good men too, those men, Enoch, Adam, you see, sons of God, they're still on the earth. They didn't die yet. Only from then on was 120 after Noah, the last one here that I read. When those were still alive, the sons of God, the Nephilim, 900 something year olds, I explain all this, went to the daughters. In other words, they still conceived. A man can have a child right to the end, and even then, today too. They conceived and had children by them, the Nephilim, which I just explained. They, the Nephilim, were the heroes of old, men of renown. Heroes of old, godly men of renown. Who was renowned to that point of the short history of man? Adam, Enoch, and so on, right? Okay. There you go. Then it now goes to the flood. You got that? So here it says Nephilim were the ones in 950 years. I explained that. They were still alive. They were sons of God. They were good men. They still impregnated women, right? And had children. They were sons of God. They just took regular women and had children. That's all that means. I explained it enough. I want to rehash it. Now let's go to Numbers. The second time it's mentioned, the Nephilim thing. Now hang on. People misread this again. I'm going to read it. Numbers 13, it started in verse 30 to maybe it's just a couple verses here. To 33, right to the end. Yeah, okay, I'll read it. And comment as they go again. Here's where people mixed up and think the Nephilim were the giants, but they don't read this right. I'll go through it carefully. Again, Numbers 13, verses 30 to 33, the end. But the men who had gone, these are spies from sent by God through Moses to tell them into the land that would be given, Canaan. Okay, and they were descendants, obviously, from Adam too, and that's what he's going to be talking about here, the various ones here, and through Noah and his sons. Verse 31, but the men who went out to spy the land of Canaan, the Israelites, who had gone up with him, Caleb, and I think he's the one that said, no, we can destroy them, but the other men were scared because they were tall people there, men there. I'm going to arrive at that. So these men who had gone up with him, Caleb, who said we can destroy them, let's go get it. Stop saying these things, to scare the people that they're giants. But those men who wanted to stir the pot, you know what I mean, said, well, we went up with Caleb. We can't attack those people. They are stronger than we are. And they spread among the Israelites, the spies who were contentious, who didn't agree with Caleb, who were scared of the tall men, very tall men. And then these men spread among the Israelites a bad report about the land that they had explored. They said, the land we explored devours those living in it. Remember, they carried a cluster. It was like a big cluster of bananas, was so big, of grapes. That's amazing. So again, they said to the people that the land we explored devours those living in it, what I just said. All the people we saw there, here it is, are of great size, meaning they're very tall. I don't remember, it might say in the future, but I don't remember how tall it doesn't say here how tall they were. It does say of one guy descended, I forgot where, I think it was 12 feet, his bed was cubits, somewhere else in the Kings, Book of Kings or something, or Chronicles. Either way, I'm not going to digress on that. So it says here, all the people we saw, these spies who were scared, not like Caleb, didn't have faith that God was going to deliver them. All the people we saw, this was the report that they're giving the Israelites to scare them. All the people we saw, the Nephilim, here it is. We saw the Nephilim there. Now people say right away, think, they're the Nephilim. They're the Nephilim. No, you got to just read in parentheses just after here. Remember what I just read in Genesis? Who the Nephilim are? I don't want to rehash. You could go through this video at the beginning. But they called him, they're the Nephilim, but it emphasizes, what's the word I'm looking for? It categorizes it. Okay, puts it in place who they are. In parentheses, we saw the Nephilim there, parentheses, explaining that the Nephilim, parentheses, the descendants of Anak, come from the Nephilim. From the Nephilim, I explained way back in Genesis. So from them, which were the good men, I explained, that lived 900 something years. Okay? They come from them. We saw the Nephilim, but they're called the Nephilim wrongly, but it explains here. We saw the Nephilim there, parentheses, the descendants of Anak, which is Anak is present day there. The descendants of Anak come from the Nephilim, which is back in Genesis. I just explained that, okay? The good men of 950 years. So these men, okay, we seem to be grasshoppers. The rest of the end of the verse in the chapter. We've seen grasshoppers in our own eyes, their eyes, as we looked at the same to them, very small. Okay, so the second time Nephilim is mentioned, where it distinguishes again the giants, it doesn't say that in the first part. It says here, they call them Nephilim, but it categorizes them and says, well, wait a minute, in parentheses, the descendants, these Nephilim that we call Nephilim, aren't really the Nephilim, the true Nephilim from Genesis again. It's the last time I'll say it in parentheses. But the Nephilim there, the descendants of Anak, which is present day of Anak there, come from Nephilim. So when they come from Nephilim, the man of God, they're the ones who lived 950 years, the sons of God that married and still had children. They come from them, but in Anak's time, the descendants of Anak, that they were very tall. How, why, I don't know. Just like today, why is someone so much taller than another? Some have growing diseases or whatever. I can't explain it, right? I don't know. So there you go. I explained it without rehashing it again, okay? Man, I didn't realize it'd take 11 minutes and a half. Please watch half a minute and like and subscribe. This is a very good case of another study of the Nephilim and claiming it's the sons of angels. The Nephilim are the sons of angels because they translate some places the sons of angels, even though what I said about Jesus. You put all the scriptures together, it agrees. It's like grammar must agree, okay? Please watch half a minute for the algorithms. I appreciate it to be an engaged viewer. Thank you very much. Bye.